production of the local Kente fabric. This, according to the government, the move will help cut down the cost of purchasing raw materials used in producing the traditional cloth. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who disclosed this during a sword-cutting ceremony for the construction of a Kente museum in the area, said the government is committed to supporting local businesses to grow. Kente weavers at Bonwure and other areas in the Ashanti region often go through difficulty in getting raw materials to produce the local fabric. Kente is a popular Ghanaian fabric used for different purposes on very remarkable occasions. That will be it for News Roundup from the Ashanti region. My name is Hafiz Tijani.
Welcome to News Roundup here in the Upper West region. My name is Latif Mahama. In our first story, the Upper West Regional Police Command is seeking the support of residents in the region to help identify some unclaimed bodies at the Upper West Regional Hospital morgue. The bodies are that of suspected criminals who on different occasions engaged the police in gun battles, among others. The command has therefore served notice of mass burial if families do not show up for identification and collection of the bodies. A statement from the Regional Police Command, signed by the Regional Public Affairs Officer, Inspector Gideon Ohini Boateng, indicated that hospital authorities have persistently requested the police to remove the bodies due to congestion at the mortuary. Though the statement did not mention a specific date, it says the police will liaise with the Environmental Health Unit and the Wa Municipal Assembly to bury the about 8 unidentified bodies. In other news, the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has charged chiefs in the country to speak out and join the government's fight against corruption and socio-economic injustice. President Nana Addo made the call last Sunday when he interacted with chiefs in Wa as part of his 2-day working visit to the Upper West region. The President used the 2-day working visit to interact with opinion leaders and to cut sort for construction of various development projects in the region. He also commissioned various completed projects, including a multi-million-dollar solar project at Laura and a small town water project for the people of the Hamili area. Finally, commuters plying the Bamahu-Kumpale Road in the Wa municipality of the Upper West region are worried over the bad nature of the road in the area. Some of the commuters who spoke to City News complained that armed robbers have taken advantage of the deplorable nature of the road, coupled with the lack of street lights along the stretch, to rob them of their valuables. The residents alleged that several appeals to the Wa Municipal Assembly to help address the situation have not yielded any response. They have thus appealed to the government to help fix the road and provide street lights to reduce crime in the area. And that brings us to the end of News Roundup here in the Upper West region. My name is Latif Mahama. Thanks for listening.
Welcome to today's edition of City News Roundup. Commuters and residents who use the Yendi Zabzugu Taltali Yendi Saboba roads have made a passionate appeal to the government to construct their deplorable roads. According to the residents, most of the roads within the named areas have been rendered immotorable by recent floods in the area. They lament the bad nature of the roads before the floods and recount how detrimental it has been on every aspect of their lives. There is an easy camp in Sanguli in the Saboba district following the shooting to death of a 31-year-old NIA staff. Residents are worried that almost a week after the incident, the police has not made any arrest. They are therefore urging the police to intensify their investigations into the matter to prevent similar incidences. Also, some residents of Patinga in the Gushago district who fled the community following chieftaincy clashes say they fear reprisal attacks if perpetrators of the incident are not arrested. According to the residents, even though there are security patrols in the community, they will only return to the community when those behind the troubles are arrested. Houses and properties were burnt during the clash. And finally, some residents in the Yendi municipality in the northern region say they doubt if works on the Yendi water project will ever start. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo 2 months ago, during a visit to the area, cut short for the water project to begin. But residents claim no contractor has been sighted at the project site, hence their fear. They are therefore urging the government to ensure that work begins on the Yendi water project. This brings us to the end of today's edition of City News Roundup. I am Mohammed Aminu M. Alabira for City News.
Good morning. You're welcome to the news from the Central Region. My name is Georgina Apia. A section of the students of the University of Cape Coast are asking the management of the institution to prioritize the security of students. The call follows what students described as incessant attacks on them by armed robbers and petty thieves. Students at UCC have for some time now bemoaned the threat on their lives by such attacks. Meanwhile, the university authorities say they have beefed up security and also installed CCTV cameras across the length and breadth of the university. They also say to better ensure the security of students, they have improved the lighting system on campus. The PRO of UCC, Major Richard Kofi Bambintum, says management will do all it can to ensure students are safe on campus. In other news, the Member of Parliament for Cape Coast North constituency, Barbara Asha AC, has made a passionate appeal to NPP supporters in the constituency to rescind their decision not to vote for her. The party folks who are threatening what is known in Ghanaian political circles as skirt and blouse are accusing the MP of neglecting their needs. But while urging the supporters to rescind their decision, Barbara Asha AC, in a City News interview, called on the youth in the constituency to take advantage of the entrepreneurial training program initiated by her outfit and learn evocation. She maintains that will be the surest way of sustaining their livelihoods. She further denied accusations by some constituents that she has not brought development to the constituency. She cites projects in areas such as education, road construction, skill training, and employment creation, among others, as the many initiatives she has brought to the constituency. Still in the region, the people of Elmina have called on the government to operationalize the over $20 million fish processing factory in the area in order to create employment for fishermen and the youth in particular. Built under the NDC government and completed in late 2016, the facility, which was intended to bring lasting relief to the fishing communities by improving their income levels and reducing post-harvest losses, has not been operational. Residents tell City News they are disappointed in the NPP government and that their hope of seeing the facility work is fast diminishing. The Elmina fish processing factory was built with an Indian government credit facility, and it forms part of promises made by previous NDC government to the people of Elmina. Meanwhile, the Indian High Commissioner to Ghana, Sugan Rajaram, has emphasized the fact that the Elmina Fish Processing Company, when operational, will serve both local and international needs. The Indian High Commissioner was speaking to journalists in Elmina as part of his visit to the region to acquaint himself with development in the central region and also see how best to tap into opportunities for the benefit of both countries. The end of the news. My name is Georgina Apia.
Good morning and welcome welcome to the News Roundup from the Bono East region. I am Michael Chachu Ahodu. The Bono East Regional Minister, Kofi Amakohene, has inaugurated a committee to plan the upcoming 36th National Farmers' Day celebration, which will be held in the region. The inauguration ceremony was held at the Bono Chimpim Hall in Techiman and is the first step in planning and implementing activities that will lead to the observance of a successful National Farmers' Day celebrations. The Farmers' Day celebrations will be held on the 6th of November 2020 at the Methodist School Park in Techiman. It is under the theme Ensuring Agribusiness Development under COVID-19, Opportunities and Challenges. The occasion will be used to honor hardworking farmers whose efforts have sustained the country over the year in consideration. Also, the Majority Leader and Member of Parliament for Swami constituency, Honorable Sakyi Mensah-Bonsu, has urged the youth in the Bono East region to vote massively for the Akua-led administration in the upcoming elections. He called on them to be united in their efforts to retire former President John Mahama, who is seeking a comeback. The Majority Leader made the comments in an interaction with NPP youth leaders in Techiman in the Bono East region. And finally, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. James Opomboino, has urged traditional leaders in the Bono East region to spearhead efforts at maintaining peace in the region before, during and after the December polls. The IGP made the call when he paid a one-day working visit to the Bono East region on Tuesday. The visit was to assess the operational readiness of the police in the region. He further briefed the regional minister, promising readiness of the police in the region to ensure lives and properties are protected at all times. And that ends today's news roundup from the Bono East region.
All right, so that's it for the regional news roundup this morning. Well, we do have a lot coming up in the show for you. News review is next. My name is David Kwaku.
And I am Dziffa Ametam. Don't go anywhere. Our colleague Duke Mensa Opoku is next. We'll be right back.
There is no promise we cannot keep. There is no commitment we cannot honor. There is no delivery we cannot guarantee. There is only one Bethel Logistics Company Limited, a licensed international freight forwarding and clearing agent, a trusted global brand with an extensive network for the movement of air freight and ocean freight worldwide. We are the trusted name for road freight into Western and Northern Africa. We are fully accredited by Ghana Customs and Excise. We cater for all your freight forwarding, customs clearing and forwarding, cross trades, inland transportation, internal cargo tracking systems, customer freight costing and consultancy, cold chain logistics management, logistics and warehousing, quality inspection, and much more. In Accra, Tema, and Takrady, we are always available to ensure easy movement of cargo countrywide. Call us on 0204 528 900 or 0244 707 859. Email info@bethellogistics.com. Locate us in Accra at North Ridge, adjacent Accra Girls High School, or in Tema at Community 4, or in Takrady on the second floor of the GCB building. Website bethellogistics.com. Bethlog, experts in shipping logistics.
Hello and welcome to the Thursday edition of Breakfast Daily, the news review segment. We'll begin with the stories as captured by the front pages of the major newspapers. this morning. We'll begin with the Daily Graphic. Battle over relevance of manifestos. 3 different views. No by-election in Infantiman, that's according to the Speaker of Parliament. And Dr. Kaufman is National Asset, Graphic MD. To the Ghanaian Times. Formina MP's fate hangs in balance as Parliament deals with NPP's letter. Veep cuts sought for first ever Kente Museum at Bonre. Police round up 37 suspected criminals in Accra. To the Chronicle. NDC is sensing ominous defeat, says NPP campaign team. Constitution guarantees us protection. That's Haruna Idrisu. No by-election in Infantiman. Supreme Court prohibits Wunta from hearing a Japan case. To the Daily Heritage. Government actions swallowing our money. You have to face contempt charges. Supreme Court orders Kene Japan to appear before new judge and go to High Court for bail. Judge to lawyers. So last newspaper, to the Business Finder. Banking reforms win BOG Global Prize as it receives World Bank of the Year Award. That's from the World Central Bank of the Year Award. September inflation drops to 10.4%. Keep supporting households, save jobs. That's according to the IMF. We'll now take a look at citynewsroom.com, what the major stories are on that portal. Minority leader disagrees with calls for by-election in Infantiman after death of MP. Building consultant predicts imminent mudslide along Accra Wager Road. NDC's defeat in 2020 will be worse than 2016. That's according to the deputy campaign manager of the NPP, Mustafa Hamid. Criticisms over police protection for MPs lack merit. Deputy Defense Minister Derek Odrom. Kene Japan's contempt case to proceed with new judge. To citybusinessnews.com. Government launches 2 billion guarantee scheme to facilitate lending to SMEs. Political will needed to boost investment in renewable energy. That's according to the Institute of Energy Security, IES. Bank of Ghana presented with Central Bank of the Year Award. Soil quality of farmlands to be improved with relaunch of Redial project. Citybusinessnews.com. Inflation rate sees further drop in September. Inflation rate sees further drop in September. To myjoyonline.com. NPP government to build 800,000 housing units in 4 years. That's according to the Minister for Housing and yes, Works and Housing, Samuel Atacha. To some global news now. In Africa, to be specific, Africa Live. Machete gang attacks Nigeria's End SARS protesters. It's a sad one. For more news, visit citynewsroom.com. For more business news, visit citybusinessnews.com. I've been joined in studio by gentlemen who are not new, regular panelists, some way, somehow, over the period. To my left is Richard Nyama, is Deputy Director of Communications of the NPP. Welcome, Richard.
Thank you, Duke.
And Edem Agbana Eric. Eric Edem Agbana is Deputy National Youth Organizer of the NDC. Welcome.
Thank you, Duke.
And let's begin with our first story, which has got to do with the NPP indicating that the NDC has resorted to raising false alarms for votes. That's according to Mustafa Hamid. The story from citynewsroom.com reads, The New Patriotic Party has condemned what it refers to as attempts by the opposition National Democratic Congress, NDC, to create a false state of insecurity in the country. A deputy campaign manager for the NPP, Dr. Mustafa Hamid, at a press conference on Wednesday, October 4th, 2020, said the NDC's actions must not be tolerated by Ghanaians. The NDC, to quote his words, the NDC through propaganda is creating a false state of insecurity in the country to play on the emotions of Ghanaians for electoral gains. Statements by its leading members affirm this assertion. The NDC General Secretary, Seydou Nketia, in a report dated October 11, 2020, alleged that the government was issuing over 4,000 weapons from the state armory to over 4,000 pro-MPP vigilantes. This is to create a worrying state of insecurity to deceive electorates. This is a major briefing that was addressed yesterday by Deputy Campaign Manager of the NPP with regards to the atmosphere heading to the 2020 elections. Exactly how do you defend this statement by the Deputy Campaign Manager of the MP?
Duke, let me say good morning to your esteemed viewers and to my brother Adam, and to thank Ghanaians for our level of tolerance, our peace-loving nature, and our natural good attitude to democratic governance. That is what has held us this far, and I want to believe that that nature that comes to us naturally is at play, and we are going to have a very peaceful, credible election in the next 54 days. A president will be declared, this country would move on, because that is who we are. We are peace-loving people. But be that as it may, on the 10th of June 2020, recently, yes, I think it was 10th of June, yes, the former president actually declared that the NDC was not going to accept the results of the election if it is flawed. Okay. And that they would be prepared, or they are prepared to go to court. They are putting their lawyers and everything together and getting ready. Now, first and foremost, that is a concession. The elections are yet to be held. The former president has pronounced the results of the elections, considered that he has lost, and then proceeded to say he will not accept it, and therefore they will contest the said elections in court.
As an interested party in the election, if he has concerns about the processes being rolled out so far, is it not legitimate for them to be voiced out?
All right, so what are the concerns? They, from the word go, were against a new voters register. The Electoral Commission made a case for it. The NDC went to court. Their case fell flat on its face. The Supreme Court gave the EC the go-ahead to compile a new voters register. The new voters register was compiled. The same former president said he was satisfied with the process so far, and everything was well done. And then it comes to verification processes of the registered names, and then hell breaks loose. They come complaining. He actually stops his campaign to come and hold a press conference and just cry foul. In actual fact, all the complaints he put across have been addressed, and they are not new under the sun. In actual fact, evidence has been adduced that in the time past we've had even worse cases when it comes to names disappearing and others being double names and all those other issues. But you see, because can you imagine overturning an electoral defeat of some 1.2 million votes? It is beyond him, okay? There must be some really bad leadership on the part of the MPP for any of that to happen. Unfortunately for them, all the flagship programs that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo promised this country, he's delivered on. And so NDC is having difficulty penetrating. They have suspended their campaigns for God knows how many times now. They are not gaining any traction. Nobody's welcoming them. And worst of all, their policies and programs are not attractive because they are not well thought through, they are incompetently done, and so people can actually see through it. And so they need to create a scenario where the elections are seemingly flawed, and based on that, they go ahead and make a case that no, we didn't lose fairly, and so we are contesting the elections. Beyond that, they also want to create an atmosphere of insecurity, of some chaos going on, and creating fear and panic so that people may not even turn out to vote. And so what do? They resort to setting up fake online portals. And when the online portal, which they have actually created, puts out a news item, they go and quote it and bring it into mainstream media to get us to discuss it, okay? And I will point out a few of them to viewers and to take note. Anytime you see any news item on the social media from any of these websites, please, they are fake.
At this point, for all the credible news, citynewsroom.com is the most credible.
Yes, so but look at what happens. Look at what happens. What they actually do is to mimic credible sites, okay? So you have graphicgh.com. When you see this, you think it's Daily Graphic. That is what will instantly, and even if you see how they did the site, if you're not careful, you will not know that there's a fake graphic page. Then you have GhanaNewsAvenue.com. That comes across like GNA. You understand that? So you see it and you think it is GNA, a very credible news portal in this country. Then you have bbcnewsghana.com. You see that? So they carry this into mainstream, and this is what happened. They put one such story on the Ghana, the graphicgh.com, that some minister within the MPP government carted 26 million UK pounds into UK on a private jet. In today's day and age, not even Idi Amin would pack 26 million pounds into suitcases onto a private jet into the United Kingdom to go and put in a bank. Which bank would accept money in such suitcases? Are you going to put it in your banker? So it beats imagination. But what do you do? What do you realize? A hitherto credible lawyer of repute, Honorable Inus Afuseni, and a member of parliament at that, quotes this, brings it into the mainstream media, and it becomes a news item to pollute the minds of Ghanaians. Look, in 2008, they did the same thing. Brought fake accounts of ministers of millions of dollars and cedis in their accounts. That was never true. We are back to the same place. Dirty politics. Okay? And what do they do in the end? And they have this voice that has been created.
All part of the emerging trend of fake news.
Fake
That's
news.
why
so that
stick
you
to credible
have an
websites
application
and credible news platforms
where the news is actually mimicked. You have it read into the app, and the app applies the accent you want to apply. So in the end, if you play it, you hear it sounds like a British news anchor reading, but it's a Ghanaian person who read it and applied used the app on it, and they translated it, and it sounded like a news item. And you had international people from even outside Ghana sending this to us and asking, but how? But they are in UK and this hasn't happened. How come this is online and is ongoing? Take that aside. Look at what Asedun Ketia says. 4,000 arms given to 4,000 plus MPP vigilantes. He doesn't adduce any evidence. That is a major national security threat. The standing army of the Ghana army, they are less than 20,000. If we have 4,000 arms being given to Ghanaians of MPP stock, is that not mayhem we are unleashing on this country? You know what he wants? The police or the national security to invite him so that the NDC will get an opportunity to parade the streets and make noise that we are hunting them. So what happens? Then that scenario he wanted to create of insecurity would have taken place. He should go and continue preaching all the ill and evil that is in his heart. But the Ghanaian people would speak on December 7th.
Okay, let me come to Adam.
Unfortunately for them, yes, they are on record through their national chairman to have actually spelled out how all these things will play out. Fortunately, the matter is in court. But the Ghanaian as a person heard them. And all those things are unfolding today. All the things they said, gunning down people, creating the scenes of armed robbery and all those things, is part of their machinations. And we know. And time would show that it is the NDC that has set out to create these issues of armed robbery and all the attacks to make the government unpopular.
Okay, let me come to you, Adam. Now, Richard Nyama speaks of a certain artificial atmosphere of insecurity that is being created by the NDC, your party, with regards to the state of security in the country. The question to you is there a non-existent reality that the NDC is trying to create for political advantage?
Duke, thank you very much, and good morning to all our cherished viewers. Let me also use the opportunity to wish my good brothers, Efo Alanyo Chekbo, Bilal Mwazu, and John Kweli, who are executives of the NDC, over the past couple of days were involved in some accident, and use the opportunity to also caution all of us and every road user that we ought to be very careful on our roads. In the past few days, I've read and seen videos and pictures of many road accidents, and I think that we are getting closer to December. It is almost becoming a tradition that when we are getting closer to the festive seasons, you have these carnages on our road, which we all have to preach against. So I have decided that every opportunity I get on a platform like this, I use it to admonish all of us who drive to drive carefully and save lives. And thank you for the opportunity, Duke. I think that it is important for all of us to make a deliberate effort to raise the bar, raise the standard of our politicking in this country. Politics must not mean that you must engage in tricks and deceive the good people of Ghana. You asked a question about whether the NDC is trying to create a perception of insecurity in this country. And I'll throw the question back to you. You are a journalist. You read what happens. I mean, you are aware of happenings in this country. You don't think that there is a cause for us to be worried about the state of insecurity?
Respectfully, you do the answering here.
No, so
thank you.
I'm throwing the question back to you and our viewers that we are in a country just a few days ago, a member of parliament on the ticket of the NPP was murdered, was killed, shot dead on his way from returning from campaign. And we are yet to unravel the circumstance or arrest the perpetrators of that heinous crime. And yet the NPP wants us to believe that our security system or we are safe. So there is the NDC is the one creating a perception of insecurity. Few days or few weeks ago, happenings in the Volta region, armed men, stormed police stations, seized armory of the police, released suspects in detention, blocked roads, major roads to the Volta region. The security couldn't do anything about it at the time. It is the NDC that is creating a perception of insecurity in this country. A few weeks earlier, law professor, the venerable Professor Yaobene from the University of Ghana Law Faculty, you know about his story, how he was murdered in cold blood in his house. It is the NDC that is creating a perception of insecurity. So all the instances that I have given you, they do not exist. It hasn't happened in Ghana. It's the NDC through fake news that is creating that the Infantiman MP is dead. It is the NDC through fake news that is creating a perception that Prof. Yaobene was murdered and all the other cases of insecurity. I have listened to seasoned security experts who in the past few weeks are worried about the state of insecurity in this country. Just a few days ago, I listened to experts who think that the national security must up their game because we are failing in the area of security. Many Ghanaians, millions of Ghanaians believe that there is insecurity in this country, and I can give you a plethora of cases to back that. And today, the NPP wants us to believe. And sometimes we should not let politics make us so petty that even in the face of all this stark reality, we sit on national TV and you create an impression that it is the NDC that is using fake news to create a perception of insecurity in this country. Let President Akua and you, the MPP executives, who are telling us that it is NDC creating the state of insecurity, organize another press and tell the people of Ghana that you are so satisfied with the state of security, and based on that track record, your record on security, Ghanaians should give you the vote again. We ought to take the people of Ghana serious. This petty politicking will not help anybody.
The best that the government can do is to retool, police, the police service, the security agencies, and that is a record that has been trumpeted over the period.
So what a serious political party, yes. What a serious political party in government should be doing at this time, should be telling us what the NPP government is doing to improve the state of security in this country. Not to come, put blame at the doorstep of the NDC and try to create an impression that we are talking about a non-existent problem. And that's why I threw the question back at you and asked you that you, as a journalist, with all the things you read and all the things you are privy to, are you happy with the state of security in this country? What a serious president and his campaign team should be doing, should be telling us what they have done to retool the police service, what they have done about the national security situation, what they have done to ensure that we do not have a repetition. And the MPP is so shameless, so ridiculous, that you have lost your MP, a member of parliament, on your ticket few days ago. And days after, you organize a press conference, instead of telling the good people of Ghana what you can do to improve the state of security, you decide to embark on this petty politicking of blaming your political opponents. Talking about fake news, Duke, there is a global trend, and I'm worried, quite sincerely, that we have a global trend of fake news. I have been a victim of such before. We've all been. Haven't you read? I have. I continuously.
Wouldn't it be nice for it to be condemned?
So I'm going there. I'm not justifying. No. So I'm saying that there's a global trend, even in the U.S. as we speak. Trump, as president, complains about this trend of fake news. It has been there. 2016, the number of despicable things that were written about then President Mahama and other NDC officials. I recall, I used to work with the Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, and I recall how many times we have to issue disclaimers about non-existing filling stations that the NPP claimed that he had built or he had bought. Till today, they are in office 4 years. If you ask them, he threw a challenge that. But is it? So the issue is that that justifiable? No, I'm not justifying. You should allow me land, Duke. My point is that there is a global trend of fake news, and the sites that they have mentioned, go there. They have written stories about the NDC. They have written stories about John Mahama that we continue to issue disclaimers against that. That this fake news trend is bad. It's terrible. We all have to condemn it. But for the NPP to take this fake news trend and try to put it at the doorstep of the NDC and blame the NDC for it, they are ridiculous. And I will give you examples. Your presidential staffers, people like,
the people who are not here to respond to these.
His presidential staffers. I don't think the number of times they have generated fake letters, fake news, and they have the courage, they have the audacity to even post it on their social media platforms. And you, MPP, talking about fake news, please take the people of Ghana serious. Duke, 53 days away from the election, we should be telling the young people of this country what is in it for them when they vote for Party A or Party B. We should be telling them how we intend to transform the economy, how we intend to provide jobs, how we intend to solve the problem of insecurity that President Akua, as chairman of the National Security Council, has failed terribly in resolving. Not to come and put the NDC at the receiving end for your abysmal performance in security. The good people of Ghana know better. So when it comes to security, the NPP has no moral right to even talk about security in this country.
All right, so that's Eric Agbana, Deputy National Youth Organizer of the NDC. We'll take a break here. When I come back, Rachel will have the opportunity to respond briefly, and Adam, if he has a rebuttal or a further statement to make before we move on to the second story for discussion. This is Breakfast Daily News Review segment. Stay with us.
Kasadiropa, a 1D1F initiative in Kumwabewaze funded by Ghana Exim Bank, produces orange flesh sweet potato food products like sweet potato cake, bread, donuts and chips among others in large quantities for both local consumption and exports. As innovators in agribusiness with the capacity of producing over 250 tons of potatoes every 6 months, it has an estimated job creation capacity of over 1,000. Like Kasadiropa, there are other factories set up across the country under the 1D1F initiative in areas such as poultry, pharmaceuticals, fruit processing, and more local businesses which are creating jobs and expected revenue. At Ghana Exim Bank, we call this the Made in Ghana 4P. Produce, promote, purchase, and prosper. If as a people we believe in the Ghana beyond aid, then let's prosper as a nation by producing, promoting, and purchasing our own products. Let's support Made in Ghana, and let's take Made in Ghana to the world. One district, one factory. Ghana at work. Ghana Exim Bank. Facilitating Ghana's international trade.
Hello and welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily on City TV. I have in studio Richard Nyama, Deputy Director of Communications of the NPP, and Edem Agbana, Deputy National Youth Organizer of the NDC. Some comments that you've sent in, just a couple of them. Abdul Ganiu Karegu from Savannah region says, whenever the NDC is losing elections, they always resort to all manner of propaganda to court sympathy. The NDC is extremely alarmist. The people who couldn't pay teachers and nurses allowances froze employment in all the sectors because the economy collapsed are today promising a better economy. Seeking a comeback is a complete joke. A Mystic from Sawim says that Nanado Dr. Bawumia-led government has lost credibility totally and failed Ghanaians woefully. Let's bring back John and Jane to rescue Ghana from the hands of this government. Last one, the relevance of manifestos. Ghanaians should be very careful and take a credible decision. Okay, so Richard, before we went on the break, clearly Adam thinks that government has failed, or the Akufo-Addo administration has failed with regards to security in the country.
Yes, when your opponent's modus operandi is to cause insecurity, and they go and sit in caves and under trees and discuss how to cause mayhem and insecurity, including armed robbery and murders to cause confusion. And this is picked on record. When it starts unfolding, you can only point your finger in that direction.
It's a matter in court.
Oh, it's not the issue about it being in court. I'm saying that the court aspect is going on, but it's on record. That is how the NDC are going to go about this campaign. And they indicated it. I'm saying that it's no surprise that it is happening. Okay? Because they are hell-bent on causing confusion and insecurity. When government deployed military to the Volta region, Oti, the northern, northeast, upper west, upper east, western north, and parts of Bono and Hafo, ethnocentric tribalist sentiments, which the NDC have couched into policy, was what was at play. They forgot about national security. All they could talk about was that the NPP was out to disenfranchise Ewes from registering and voting. Because at that time, it played into their ethnocentric political agenda. Now, when the secessionist movement acted, the same person he's referring to, coup d'etat Blakwa, in his condemnation of this act, indicated that there were people from Togo and Nigeria and others that were part of it.
But has government dealt with these secessionist security issues?
That is the point.
Dealt with very, has it been dealt with very well?
Because your opponent does not see the big picture. They see everything from their tribal, ethnocentric point of view. So that when you were resolving the problem, they saw it as a problem of Ewes, and to use Ewes to rise up against the government. That was their aim. Now, listen.
Can we play away from
didn't they do that?
Issues of ethnocentrism and tribalist comments? Because we are looking at a matter from a nationalistic point of view.
That is the main point that needs to be told, and that is the hard truth. It is very dirty, and the NDC need to own it, because the people of the Volta region do not belong to the NDC. We have people of Ewe extractions and other origins from the region that are in the NPP, that are in the other parties. I'm saying that their own submission on this secessionist thing told you how parochial their interest was. Because if you had people from Nigeria and Togo and others among those who were arrested, doesn't that justify the action the government took earlier on? And yet you stood on platforms and you're preaching mayhem.
Okay, so for you government has done very well to handle the issue of security.
He's talking about, look, even in the United States of America, the most sophisticated of all, in all of this, you still have this sort of things happen. In the case of Professor Bene, haven't the perpetrators been arrested? This one just happened, and nobody should tell me that that thing that happened in Mfasima was an armed robbery. it was orchestrated and executed because we have a party chairman on tape who said they will do that.
Can we stay away from that? Because it's a matter that is still under investigation.
I'm saying that there's a party chairman that said they will do that. Okay? So it is on record, and I'm not surprised it is unfolding. But how the government will take it and react and nip it in the bud, it's a matter of security, and you do not expect them to come and hold a press conference and tell us that from now on we are going to do A, B, C, D. Else, the people will change their modus operandi. And so, you do it again and see.
Okay.
The security is on top of this issue, but I'm saying that the NDC should stop being parochial, they should stop being ethnocentric and tribal, and should see the bigger picture of Ghana.
And I have some 3 minutes to wrap up before we move to a second
Duke, nothing much to say except to say that your platform is a very serious platform, and that is why some of us accept to be here. This is not one of the ones that he and his people sit and make frivolous allegations without proof. The things that he's saying, it simply doesn't even make sense. You have your member of parliament murdered, and you are here talking about a supposed tape and that it is unfolding. If you have even taken on, if you are even taking on,
murdered in 2015 under the watch of the NDC as well.
So
it's a matter that should be
I'm saying that. But I haven't sat here to say that when JB Dankwa was murdered, prior to his murder, MPP people had created a sense of insecurity and ethnocentricity. You see, Richard. No, you see, I kept quiet. I kept quiet not because what you were saying makes sense.
Insulting me and telling me,
no, I'm saying that.
Gentlemen, this is for the benefit of our viewers.
But Duke,
this is for the benefit.
I kept quiet. I kept quiet not because what you were saying makes sense, but because I respect our viewers.
Richard, I would allow.
You've had him denigrate me.
I would allow you to make comments going on to the second point. But I think
I kept quiet when he was talking.
No, Adam.
No, but it's my turn.
Yes,
it's my turn.
Richard,
I'm saying that
Richard,
your national chairman, they will force murder.
Richard, please let us not, for the benefit of our viewers, gentlemen.
I'm saying that, Duke, it's my turn. Can I have my time now?
You are in no position to...
Let calm heads prevail, gentlemen.
No, I'm calm. I'm
so, Richard, I would allow you to make your comments regarding the issues if you'd allow. Yes, please.
This platform is bigger than me, and I should go and sit somewhere else.
Richard,
you see, please, you let it slide. I will not let it go.
We agree.
So it's my time.
If you can, if you feel slighted by the comments, if you withdraw, yes, if you would,
and I'm saying that,
make your point.
Adam,
please, if you would, withdraw the comments and then move on.
Duke, this is what I said. I said, and Duke, it's important to make the point that I kept quiet. I kept quiet.
He's withdrawing it. Richard, he's making his point. I think we should stick away from making this program one that would not be appreciated by the viewers.
Because it is for
their sake that this is happening, Richard. Yes, so yes.
I'm saying that.
Move away
I kept quiet. Yes, I kept quiet. It's important to make the point. Yes, so it's important to make the point that I kept quiet when Richard was speaking, not because I agreed with the things he was saying or the things he was saying made sense. But for the respect I have for the viewers,
please withdraw the comments.
Which of the comments? After all the frivolous comments that he made, I'm saying that this is a serious platform. It is a serious platform, and you cannot come here and make those unfounded allegations and attributions.
Gentlemen, Richard, we'll take a break here. We'll take a break. Obviously, our panelists do not want to. So we'll take a break here. When I come back, we will deal with the issues and then get one platforms. We'll take a break.
I will not. I'm telling you.
On Footprint Footprints this weekend, journalist and politician Fritz Bafo tells his story on how he entered the media and entertainment industry.
When I was living on the campus in Kumasi, and you know, I had it in my head that I was the Vice Chancellor's son. So I was going around, you know, bragging and doing all kinds of things. And one day my dad came and he was furious, you know, I mean, his face was like thunder. And he called me and he said, Fritz, I want you in the study. And when he says that, then you know you're in trouble. And he said, there is no position in this world as a Vice Chancellor's son. You are RP Bafo's son, and you behave accordingly. You behave with dignity, with a certain elements of gravitas, and behave yourself so that people will look to you and say that, well, you're well brought up. Share the room with a Malaysian. And we had this crown prince, a prince from the Emirates.
Who was also a student.
He was also a student. And the very first time he met me, when I'd just come, I was late. And I'd just come down to breakfast, and he sat down and he looked at me, and I was looking at his face. And then he said to me, boy, you look like my father's favorite slave. Ooh. Which he said it out of innocence. But at that time, because of the way that I was conditioned, I lost my temper. I almost went across the table to grab his neck. It was a Channel 4 program that I worked on. Great, but again, I wasn't happy, you know. One thing I found in Britain that disturbed me was that you couldn't present your own views. If you presented your views, they would color it with, oh, is it an African thing or is it some black thing? And later on, they would take that advice and then say it wasn't you. So I realized I was always out of sorts, always arguing. And so when the time came for me, I just said, no, I'm coming back home to Ghana. So I came back. And my dad looked at me and said, this TV thing, you've got to stop. Wow. I said, Dad, no.
Footprints shows this on every Saturday at 9 a.m. with a repeat on Sunday at 4 p.m. Only on City TV.
Footprints is sponsored by Bethel Logistics Company Limited, experts in shipping logistics.
Comprehensive news. The City Newsroom at 8 p.m. on City TV is your most engaging news bulletin on TV.
It's a very oh, that's too bad. The youth are still throwing stones. They are still throwing stones here into our direction. And can I come in? I want to come in. Okay.
Telling your stories better with correspondence covering every corner of the country.
Getting access to potable water is a daily struggle for residents of Kakichekopi and Balekopi communities in the Ada East district of the Greater Accra region.
City Newsroom at 8 p.m. Very fluent with issues that concern you.
This inquiry me come from Mr. Rabbi. Someone has a bread. Told you kind of a 1 week. What do you say?
Is it unfair? What all this? What all this? We are dying! We are dying! We are dying for Choco!
With City Newsroom, your community is now connected.
In this our community, all of us, we are very sorry of the school. If we went and see the children, they are so small. Even my grandchildren are there. My grands outside there. If they come out from the school, I have to easy.
Every day at 8 p.m., City Newsroom is live on City TV.
Welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily on City TV. We apologize to our viewers for what caused the unfortunate break, which was not planned for. We apologize for the comments and the counter comments that came in before we went on that unexpected break. But I would move on now, tempers are calm now, move on to our second story for discussion today. It's got to do with whether manifestos are still relevant in our politics or not. We take the story from the Daily Graphic, Battle over Relevance of Manifestos. 3 share different views. Now, 2 development experts have underscored the importance of manifestos and their impact on the National Development Planning Commission. Dr. Kojo Esi Mensah Brampa and a former Director General of the Commission, Dr. Nimoy Thompson, however, differ on how manifestos can impact positively on national development, sharing his perspective on the relevance of manifestos on accelerated development of the country. In separate interviews, Dr. Mensah Brampa said political manifestos were key ingredients in the national development planning process. Dr. Thompson, for his part, posited that the manifesto was a political document which could not development when it was translated into a coordinated program of economic and social development policies. Let me begin with you, Richard, on this matter.
Yes, I don't see much of a disagreement between the 2 speakers on the matter. Largely, a manifesto is a shopping list, a to-do list by each and every political party that is seeking power. Okay. Now, if you take that basket of the shopping, you would realize there will be commonalities between most, if not all, of the parties as to what they want to do. It's how they get there that, in most cases, is different. So that you take the MPP's flagship program of free SHS, okay? Initially, there was this what do we call it? Attitude towards it that is not doable. What happens? The government comes into power, that's it. The opposition says it's doable, and when they come, they will better it. Okay? You take the issue of creating jobs. We concentrate on creating jobs through largely industrialization. Okay? So we set out to put up industries, okay, that would employ people. The last time I checked, I think some over 160,000 or so, or 180,000 had been employed already in the industrialization drive. Now, someone else comes and wants to do it through the governance structure. Another wants to do it in a combination of ways. But you see, there's been this argument about having a national outlook in terms of what the manifesto should be like. So they should all feed from the National Development Plan.
I think the directive principles of state policy,
no, those
of the Constitution sets out a certain broad framework.
But
largely both parties have
but you see,
taken their own approaches.
Yeah, but if you take it, it's based on ideology. If you take it, those are the listed ones, okay, and you feed your policies and manifestos largely feed into those policy frameworks. But I'm saying that we shouldn't get bogged down with the argument of a national development plan, because we have different ways of arriving at the destination. And if you want to cut us all according to that, you make it very difficult for us to arrive there. Because, for instance, the MPP, ideologically, we are capitalist driven, okay, where we believe that industry and the individual should be the vehicle of development. The state just supervises and redistributes the resources to make sure this happens. The NDC, on the other hand, sees the state being actively involved in virtually every aspect of your life. But there's a dichotomy. we who are capitalist inclined tend to have more social intervention policies to ameliorate the poverty situation of the Ghanaian people. They who should be doing it are on the other side not doing so. So if you want to bog us down by a particular policy framework that, look, you should all get it out of this place and move forward, so that we may have targets, we may have broad targets that in 20 years, like you had in the ANTAG projections, that by Vision 2020, Vision 2030, you should have all these minimal projections, health delivery systems brought up to this level, water and sanitation brought up to this level, electricity penetration brought up. Those you can give as benchmarks. But how we get there should be left to the political parties to come out with their broad manifestos, because it's based on the manifesto that the people will decide that, okay, this is a superior document that will get there faster than the others, and based on which they will vote and give you the opportunity to unfold it.
Okay, Adam.
Duke,
on this discussion.
I think that I'm excited that following the trajectory of our politics in the last decade, manifestos are increasingly becoming more and more relevant in the context of our elections. And it is a good trend. We must encourage it, because in the absence of manifestos, you have a situation where political parties or politicians reduce the issues to very trivial things that usually create division among us. I know, as a student of political science, that there are many reasons or many models that explains the choice of voters. There are people who simply vote for your party because they are members of the party. So it doesn't matter even when you have a manifesto, or it doesn't matter whether they know anything in the manifesto or not. They will still vote for you.
Dominant party model.
There's also the dominant party model. There is the rational choice, where dependent on the personal interest. So if, for example, today, an Okada rider decides to vote for the NDC, he is doing that because he has been promised in the NDC's People's Manifesto that his trade will be legalized. If a young man who aspires to be a digital entrepreneur decides to vote for the NDC, he's doing that because he has been promised that under the NDC's government, or under the leadership of President Mahama, there will be a 1 million coders program where he would have the opportunity to learn coding and app development. So all these models are there, but manifestos play a key role. It is important to encourage even our members of parliament and even our assembly members to begin engaging the electorates based on manifestos, because then it becomes the standard or a document that we can hold the politicians by. So that is why a few months ago, the NDC decided to analyze the performance of the NPP government. And we didn't do that using the promises that they made on platforms. We did that by analyzing into detail, page by page, all the promises that they made in their 2016 manifesto.
It's an interesting party that may be skewed.
I mean, I'm making the point. I'm making the point. I've seen Imani and some other civil society organizations attempted doing same. But the point is that manifestos become a legitimate document to hold the political leadership to account. So it is a good thing. I think that the Ghanaian voter is becoming more and more discerning. And so the manifestos have become even more relevant. Today, I have many people who keep asking, I want a copy of the People's Manifesto. I want a copy of the manifesto. I want to take a shot of the portion that talks about health and send to me and all of that. What it tells you is that The Ghanaian voter wants to make an informed decision. So it is important to encourage the political parties to make copies of their manifestos available. But Duke, one other thing that we have to encourage is to ensure that we set a certain framework for the political parties to draw their manifestos within, such that it is consistent with a certain national agenda. So you don't have a situation where a political party writes a manifesto and makes just populist promises because the party thinks that that is what will win them the vote. And that is the situation we had in 2016 when the NPP launched their manifesto titled The Agenda for Jobs. As we speak, many of the things that they have written in there, $1 million per constituency every year, it hasn't been done. There are many other things
that they will disagree with in terms of
$1 million. Which constituency are you from? Have they received their $4 million in the past 4 years? Have they? You can confirm. You report from Parliament. Has any of the MPs ever told you that they have received their $4 million or $1 million?
Infrastructure
no. You see, I think that let me use that opportunity. You see, Duke.
The IPEP. At least that is the explanation that has been given by government.
Duke. Let's get serious on this issue. This is the point, Duke. Before the MPP came into office in 2017.
Enough time.
Every government had built projects or had done projects in the districts or in the constituencies. I tell you, in 2016, we even had MPs who launched their own versions of the Green Book to say the things that they have done. As I speak to you this weekend, Honorable Emmanuel Kwesi Bejira, MP for Whole West, is launching a book to account for his term of office and the things that he has done. Those things are projects that always goes on. When you promise that when I come or we win power, I will give every constituency $1 million. Then time for accountability, you say, I have built toilets in your constituency, and so those things constitute the $1 million. Please.
Okay.
That is not what they promised us.
All right, so that's how we would wrap up today's discussion on the news review segment. I wish I had the opportunity to allow panelists have another round of discussions on that. But your comments also have been coming through. We'll read them subsequently. The next segment is the self-improvement segment, the DIY segment. And of course, before that, there'll be a spot of music on that. This is Breakfast Daily. Keep watching City TV. My name is Duke Kwaku. I had in studio Richard Nyama, Deputy Director of Communications of the NPP, and Eric Edamagbana, Deputy National Youth Organizer of the NDC. Apologies for what happened earlier on the program.
This one is coming in from Heartbroken Akua. She says, hello sisters. I'm in my 30s. I've noticed a pattern in men I'm attracted to. They're super compatible with me. Sweet, spontaneous, interesting, aloof, and very shady. There's this sudden burst of chemistry, romantic attention, intense sexual attraction, and what I call the shade years, where he becomes incredibly shady and then pulls away. Sisters, I'd love your say on how I can shed this terrible pattern on my part and remove this pestilence from my life. My hunch is having sex early in a relationship and being just too nice with no boundaries fans the flames of this. Or is this not a problem for me alone? Like, is it just me? Are there perhaps too many shady men on prowl? My coping mechanism is to use humor, but deep inside, it really hurts.
The people that we attract is a direct reflection of how we feel about ourselves.
Get to that drawing board, ask yourself, who am I? What do I want? What are my positives? What are my negatives that I need to work on?
She said something about when you have sex too quickly. I think that's just besides the point. Who cares if you have sex today, 1,000 years later? At the end of the day, it's about the person that you are dealing with. Because the people who are virgins, they wait till they get married. Doesn't mean they're having the best of relationships.
Sister Sisters, proudly sponsored by Vodafone. The future is exciting. Ready? and secure. You decide.
On Footprints this weekend, journalist and politician Fritz Bafo tells his story on how he entered the media and entertainment industry.
When I was living on the campus in Kumasi, and you know, I had it in my head that I was the vice chancellor's son. So I was going around, you know, bragging and doing all kinds of things. And one day my dad came and he was furious, you know. I mean, his face was like thunder. And he called me and he said, Fritz, I want you in the study. And when he says that, then you know you're in trouble. And he said, there is no position in this world as a vice chancellor's son. You are RP Bafo's son and you behave accordingly. You behave with dignity, with a certain elements of gravitas, and behave yourself so that people will look to you and say that, well, you're well brought up. Share the room with a Malaysian. And we had this crown prince, a prince from the Emirates.
Who was also a student.
He was also a student. And the very first time he met me, when I'd just come, I was late. And I'd just come down to breakfast and he sat down and he looked at me and I was looking at his face. And then he said to me, boy, you look like my father's favorite slave. Ooh. Which he said it out of innocence. But at that time, because of the way that I was conditioned, I lost my temper. I almost went across the table to grab his neck. It was a Channel 4 program that I worked on. Great, but again, I wasn't happy, you know. One thing I found in Britain that disturbed me was that you couldn't present your own views. If you presented your views, they would color it with, oh, is it an African thing or is it some black thing? And later on, they would take that advice and then say it wasn't you. So I realized I was always out of sorts, always arguing. And so when the time came for me, I just said, no, I'm coming back home to Ghana. So I came back. And my dad looked at me and said, this TV thing, you've got to stop. Wow. I said, Dad, no.
Footprints shows this on every Saturday at 9 a.m. with a repeat on Sunday at 4 p.m. Only on City TV.
Footprints is sponsored by Bethel Logistics Company Limited, experts in shipping logistics.
So darling, stand by me.
you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Would you stand now? Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. You're way too beautiful, girls. That's why it won't ever work. They'll have you suicidal, suicidal when they say it's over. Damn all these beautiful girls. They only wanna do you thin. They'll have you suicidal, suicidal when they say it's over. Oh, don't ya me ho, oh, don't ya me ho. Kai hulu send me the way happy dough. I fain upon the sand, I would be charmed if it's caught or has a jar. Sister vanity, farmers are already. My vow send me duff for me, passa will soup me. All I know is always at last. We've come to the end of this voyage at last. Thank you for all your troubles, eh? Oh, just a situation. Was shine, I won't have you. I fain, I may say, won't pay me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My tiny, I didn't defeat. That she made you fear. Seven young can be. Who am I every day? As I'm waving every day, hoping say she still don't come my way. Who am I every day? Who am I every day? Hoping say she still don't come my way. Who am I every day? As I'm waving every day, hoping say she still don't come my way. Who am I, baby dear? Who am I, baby dear? Hoping says she still don't come my way. Who am I, baby dear?
Another beautiful word from Senti. Now, earlier we told you that today is Global Hand Washing Day. So we're going to have a conversation about just why it's important to wash your hands and to protect your health, especially now that we're talking about coronavirus and all the things that will come if we don't wash our hands. I have with me Mrs. Theodora Adomako Eje. She is the head of Extension Services at Community Water and Sanitation Agency. We're talking all things hand wash. If you have any questions for her, let us know with the hashtag Breakfast Daily, and the WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. If you're outside Ghana, we can still take your questions. Just use the country code +233. Good morning, Theodora.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
So much for being with us.
Yeah.
Talk to us a bit about hand washing and its importance to as far as our health is concerned.
Yeah. Hand washing with soap has been with us since ages because it's a very important hygiene practice and it's a daily activity. The focus today, I want to focus on the hands.
Okay.
I always ask this, that we should every day think about the things that we do with our hands, things that we touch with our hands, and also imagine how many people might have touched those things already before us touching. If you do that, you will be amazed as to how your hands get contaminated during your daily activities. The moment you wake up, you start using your hands. And by doing that, our hands come into contact with viruses, bacteria, and other parasites. And it is such that you cannot see the germs on your hands. So you may think that your hands are clean, But every day, all the time, we are contaminating our hands. And I also want us to take note that when the hands are contaminated, we also, apart from contaminating ourselves, the hands also serves as a principal transmission of diseases. Because whatever you have on your hands, when you touch things, other people come to touch it. There is a saying that the hands operate as an effective, mark the words, the choice of words that I'm using. The hands operate as an effective transport network for transmission of diseases. You can imagine if you say you have an effective transport, like here, there, everywhere. All the time. So this is how the hands transmit diseases. But by adopting the hand washing with soap practice, what you do is you interrupt the transmission of diseases. You block the transmission. So that is why we have to wash our hands.
Now you mentioned soap.
Yes.
How important is soap in this entire conversation? Because some people only wash their hands when it's visibly dirty. We are not in an environment that we are not conscious of microorganisms.
Yeah.
So some people will just sweep when they see that the floor is dirty, for instance. There are people who have said things like, I don't like smelling soap before I eat, so I would only use the soap after I eat. How do we get into the habit of washing our hands with soap?
Soap, using soap, I want to liken it to having grease or oil on your hands. You see that if you use only water without soap, at the end of the day, it will still be there. So if you have the germs, the pathogens on your hands, is the same. If you don't use soap and you use only water, you will not be able to take away the germs. And what happens when you use soap? What happens is that it dislodges anything on your hands. And you see, the practice of washing the hands properly too, you will have to also rub your palms. So if you have soap, it also facilitates the rubbing and then the friction. But at the end of the day, you know, if you have, it also lets your hands smell good, you know. So nobody wants dirty hands.
So is it wrong to do this? Because some of us just do this when we are washing our hands because we think it's my right hand that I use the most. So.
In fact, if you do that, you are not getting anything out of your hands.
Okay.
Yes. I will demonstrate the proper way of washing hands.
Okay.
When we started the mass media campaign, I think this is one observation that I had. You know, the statement out there, or the communication was, wash your hands with soap under running water. The emphasis on the proper hand washing with soap was missing. Yes, it was missing. So I want to use this platform to say that we just don't have to wash our hands with soap under running water. If you don't wash your hands with soap properly, you are not removing the virus on your hands. So the emphasis is washing your hands with soap under running water properly.
Okay.
That is it.
And you'll be walking us through it shortly.
Yeah, I will do that.
Now make the link between hand washing and our health for us.
Okay. As I've mentioned earlier on, you know, as you go about your daily activities, you use your hands in doing, I want to come home to Ghana. Today, everybody watching me should start observing people as to what they use their hands to do. I've seen a lot of people several times using their hands in their ears like this, in the nose, scratching their skin, in the hair. I mean, whilst you are doing this, in fact, some people even feel that coughing in your hands is courteous. So when they're about to cough, you see they do this.
Yeah.
When they are sneezing, they do this.
Some men just use the bathroom.
Doing? You are contaminating your hands. So the hands get contaminated with microbes. And I mean, coronavirus is still here with us. So I think thanks to coronavirus, everybody in Ghana has come to know that our hands can be contaminated with viruses, and we have different viruses. And you see, when you also go to the washroom, for instance, you know what happens there after everything, you use your hands, and your hands can also get contaminated with feces. And a gram of feces contains 10 million viruses, I'm telling you, and about 1 million bacteria. So something small on your hands can really get you seriously sick. In fact, proper hand washing with soap can cut diarrhea diseases by about half. Wow. Everywhere. And respiratory diseases by a quarter, like 25%. And we have what we call the gastrointestinal diseases. You see, like children, for instance, they play around in the sun, you know, and everything. They get worms. True, if they don't wash their hands properly with soap, they can get worms. If children get diarrhea, this is what happens. And even adults, what happens is that you will not be able to, you know, whilst you are eating, you are running. Yeah. Able to keep nutrients even in food, you know, for you to get well. And when it comes to children, it's worse. Caregivers go to our healthcare facilities. People go there with various diseases. So you can imagine the doctors and the nurses who are taking care of them. If they are not washing their hands with soap, they are transferring disease from one patient to the other. So it has so many health benefits. In fact, washing hands with soap actually improves on our general well-being.
Now let's talk about the running water bit, because within our context, we don't always have access to running water. What do we do?
Okay. It is very important actually to wash your hands on the running water, because what you are trying to do is to rinse away. You see, you want to rinse away any germ, any virus, any bacteria on your hands. So if you don't have running water, I would liken it to washing clothes. So when you wash your clothes in water, you see that the water has become dirty. You will not want to put in new clothes, even dirty clothes inside dirty water. You get it? So what happens is that if you don't have running water and you are using this bowl, for instance, you wash all the germs inside and then you pick it back. That is what it means. But if you don't have the running water, what you can do is that you can also have two bowls. So you wash in one bowl and you try and pour water to rinse it. So
you get the bacteria and the virus.
Yes, that is it. Okay. So there are so many. I've said that, look, don't make excuses for not washing your hands. Always think about the benefits that you are going to gain. And therefore, you should make hand washing with soap a habit. In fact, it should be your daily habit, your priority, that every day, everywhere, regularly, you wash your hands with soap.
And we're here, we're happy you're here with us, so you're going to show us how to wash our hands properly. But before that, let's take a video on hand washing.
Whenever you use the toilet and do not wash your hands with soap, your hands pick up things you can't see. Washing your hands with just water can't make them truly clean. Remember to wash your hands with soap. You never know what you're feeding to your family.
For truly clean hands, always wash with soap.
Whenever you use the toilet and do not wash your hands with soap, your hands pick up things you can't see. Washing your hands with just water can't make them truly clean. Remember to wash your hands with soap. You never know what you're feeding to your family.
For truly clean hands, always wash with soap.
Whenever you use the toilet and do not wash your hands with soap, your hands pick up things you can't see. Washing your hands with just water can't make them truly clean. Remember to wash your hands with soap. You never know what you're feeding to your family.
For truly clean hands, always wash with soap.
Okay, so that was a video showing us a practical way of washing our hands with soap under running water. Now we're going to show exactly how to do it in your homes. Please go ahead.
Yeah. If you want to wash your hands properly, the first thing you do is to get your water and then you get soap.
Okay.
Before you start, you have to wet your hands with water first. And why you wet your hands with water first is that it will help you to get enough soap on your hands. Because if you have dry hands, you will not be able to get enough soap. So the water helps you to get enough soap on your hands.
Okay.
Yes. So that is why you have to wet your hands first.
So that you get...
Yeah, before you apply the soap.
Okay.
And please, we say wash your hands with soap. So it means that you have to get enough soap on your hands. Some people will just do this.
And they're done.
Yeah, and
so don't be stingy with the soap.
No.
Okay.
Be very economical, generous with the soap.
Okay.
And for you to be able to know that you have enough soap, you know, the soap should lather, as you can see. Until you've seen lather on your hands, it means you don't have enough soap.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So now you can see I have soap on my hands. What you do is to rub your palms together, as I'm doing. And why do you do this? There is friction, as I explained earlier on. The soap is aiding the friction and then the rubbing, so that it breaks down. It will dislodge any germs, any virus in your hands once you are doing this. And then you have to wash in between your fingers, as I'm doing. You see, your thumb.
Why is that important?
Yes, because germs hide in between the fingers.
Okay.
Yes. You see, if you do this and you do this, what about here? So you have to pay attention.
Okay.
Also, in between your fingers, and you rub here.
What's the minimum time we should spend rubbing?
At least 20 seconds.
At least
that
20
is the
seconds.
least.
Okay.
That is the least. And then you have to, at the back of your hands, as I'm doing, it's also important. The hands is this, here, this is the hand. So every part of your hands, you will have to make sure. So at the back. And then your nails, germs also hide in the nails. So you have to make sure you have taken, and after doing this, you rinse off.
Okay, so
you
now
see,
everything is coming off.
You see the running water, what the running water is doing. It is taking away
all the germs, all the viruses, all the bacteria.
So you rinse off as I'm doing on the running water.
Okay.
And but if you are not using running water, what is going to happen is what you see here.
Ah, and then you get the germs back. It means that
you are washing, you know. So
keep washing.
Oh, I bet you. I feel good. Anytime I wash my hands, I feel so good.
Wow.
You see, now you get clean tissue or clean hand towel. Some people will wash their hands well, but they use a dirty towel.
Yeah.
When you get to our local chobbers and you see that hand towel there, please don't touch it.
Okay.
What some people do is that, usually our foods are spicy.
Yeah.
So they will be sweating, and so that hand towel over there, when they get it, they just pull it.
And then they wipe their
the
face.
sweat. Some even,
yeah.
So please, any public hand towel, don't use it.
Okay.
Use your own personal towel, handkerchief. If you don't have, and you also leave your hand
just air dry it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will get right.
Thank you so much for doing this, for helping us really learn how to wash our hands. But for those at home who might want more information, where do we find you?
I work with the Community Water and Sanitation Agency. We are in charge of provision of water and sanitation in rural areas. But I collaborate with a lot of partners. We have UNICEF, Water and Sanitation for Urban Poor. We have Water Aid. We have Global USAID, the World Bank. The World Bank is also our major
Do you have a
partner.
social media handle? I'm sure when we Google you, we will find out.
You will find out.
Thank you so much.
I want to end by saying that today, 15th October, is Global Hand Washing Day. It's a global advocacy day to create awareness on the importance of hand washing with soap. The COVID has it is so sad that we have to go through pains to accept that hand washing with soap. It's very important in our lives.
And I'm sure I would want you to come back later and then we talk about the COVID properly and lessons we can learn.
So
thank you so much, Mrs. Theodora.
Daily activities, we should make hand washing with soap our top priority.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Theodora Adomakweji, for being with us. I'm going to cross over to David to find out what's going on where he is.
All right. Thank you, Dziffa, for that. So we're going to have a conversation now about Peja, the literary festival in Akua. I have been joined by two guests here. I have Efia Kisiwa, who is a creative director with the Peja Festival, and then also Mamle Kabo, who is a co-director of the Writers Project of Ghana. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
How are you all doing?
Very well, thank you.
Fantastic. So, Peja, where's that from? That sounds familiar. I don't want to get it wrong. So two things occurred to me when I heard Peja. Either light a fire, as in strike a match, or lift up, Peja. So which one is it?
You got it right the first time.
Okay.
Although I like both meanings because I think both meanings are quite relevant to what we do.
Okay.
But yes, it was conceived as to light a fire in terms of inspiration.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes, inspiration in the literary arts.
Okay. Yeah. So tell us what this festival is all about and why the need for this particular festival.
Well, as it says on my T-shirt, it's about igniting passion in the literary arts. In Ghana, we are seeing a sort of blossoming of the arts in general. Yeah. The literary arts are a very important part of that, not only in terms of fictional works, but in terms of strengthening the ability to write. and to engage in other forms of literary art, performance art, performance poetry, even the lyrics of music. We recognize many different things as literary art. We believe that every healthy society needs a strong literary community. It's part of the intellectual community of the society. And that's why we are dedicated to being a part of it.
All right. What can we expect this year?
Well, this year we have a lot of programs lined up. I mean, it's an amazing setup for the event. We have book readings as usual. We have poetry performances. We have workshops. We have book sales, book launches. Yes, and this year it's different because of the times that we are in. So we are going to have
COVID is affecting everyone.
Yeah. Oh no, we won't really take it as a negative thing, because it's also opened our eyes to wider possibilities of having online sessions and having more people join from all over the world. So this year it's different, but it's different in a good way for us, yes, because we get to reach more people that ordinarily wouldn't be able to fly down here or something.
No, I find that interesting, you know, because initially when COVID came and we had a lockdown and everything else, it was always about, then it's like all our events can't happen and all that. But somehow, because of technology, the potential for higher numbers in terms of people engaging seems to be a lot, you know, in our favor in many ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's for this year, where, when, how, give us a bit more detail as to when it's happening, where it's happening, and so on and so forth.
The venue is the Goethe Institute in Accra, which is next to NAFTI in East Cantonment.
Yeah, close to Captain Hook's,
Captain
all
Hook's,
those places.
It's going to begin on Friday and run through Saturday and Sunday. All the events are going to be live streamed on YouTube. For people here in Accra, they can come actually to attend the events physically at the Goethe Institute. Due to COVID restrictions, we will have to monitor the numbers in the Goethe Institute space at any given time. But it's possible to pre-register on our website, which is writersprojectghana.com. There is a whole section about the festival, and there are sign-up sheets attached to each day's schedule. And that will make it easier to ensure that you actually get in, because, you know, other than that, it will be on a first-come, first-served basis. Once the venue has reached the legal COVID capacity, we'll have to wait for people to leave before more people can come in. But all the events can be attended online. As I said, they're going to be live streamed on YouTube. And this year, as Ifya was saying, it's quite exciting because COVID has actually made us branch out wider. Because it's half virtual, we're actually having guests from you know, further afield than we've ever had before. For example, we have a guest from Singapore who used to be the director of the Singapore Writing Festival. We have guests from the UK, from so many different countries. So it's going to be quite an international, you know, have an international flavor this year.
How do you feel about the growth of the, I know you mentioned earlier in the opening statement about the fact that, you know, there seems to be a renaissance of sorts in terms of that. In terms of the impact of PEJA, you know, how long you've been in existence and so on and so, what's the sort of growth you've seen and how do you feel about the impact?
We've really seen such a great take-up, you know. PEJA began a couple of years after the Akua Festival in Nigeria. There is a blossoming not only in Ghana, but we're seeing literary festivals come up in different parts of Africa. And here in Ghana too, you know, there are quite a few different ones now. I think it just shows how much talent and how much interest there is. The sort of underground springs are now coming above ground, and I think that's really, you know, absolutely exciting. And so I think it says that there is something here that we need to tap, that we must keep alive. We mustn't let it go away again, because it's, like I say, I think it's part of a healthy society, it's part of a healthy democracy, it's part of a vibrant and intellectual society. And yeah, so I think that's all parts of the blossoming.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any final thoughts, final words?
Well, yeah, I was going to say that before people would not think of this, something like that as mainstream, but sometimes you have to put something out there to be able to see what actually is hidden within the society. Like she mentioned, like there are a lot of talented artists there that we never thought were there before. But since the festival came in, we realized that there are more and more people reaching out to us, and then it's all the notions that people have that people here don't read, we are not into art, it's all been downplayed. So
and for me, I'd say that strengthening our literary voices is part of telling our own story. I can refer to Chimamanda Adichie's well-known TED Talk on the single story about Africa. I think strengthening the voices of writers and literary artists in our country is one of the greatest things that we can do to combat that single story and to tell our own story.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Well, soon it's going to be something of historical value when we say that you know, if you want to hide something from an African, put it in a book. Now you can't hide anything from an African. Thank you very much to Ifya Kisiwa and to Mamle Kabo for joining me on this segment of the show. Entertainment highlights. It's up next. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Emmanuel Sapon. Now, the mother of singer Nana Blue, Comfort Minister Eshon, has spoken about recent claims by Mimi Adani that her daughter is a criminal. She told City FM that she was appalled by some utterances by Mimi and would want her to stop tarnishing her daughter's image. She said she was ready to meet Mimi to settle the matter once and for all. Mimi, the CEO of Darling Records, Mimi Adani, had disclosed that Nana breached a contract she had with her label. She therefore requested Nana Blue should pay them an amount of 500,000 Ghana cedis, as compensation for breaching her contract or desist from recording any more songs with the new record label. It is not clear what became of that matter, but Nana Blue is seriously promoting her new EP. Mimi, however, is seen in an interview by Sammy K calling Nana, quote, criminal, end quote. The No Pressure singer has 5 High Life songs in the This Is High Life EP. Moving on, secular musician turned gospel artist Michael Kesse Frimpong has said that he is more focused at preaching the gospel through music than making hit songs. He told Graphic Showbiz that even though he has not really gotten a lot of visibility for his gospel songs since he drifted from secular music, he is able to impact through his ministry. Now, Kesse was a winner of the 4th season of TV3 Mentor. He also participated in the season 2 of Project Fame West Africa, where he emerged as first runner-up. He gained prominence with the release of his debut single, Oh Yes, a reggae dancehall song which earned him the Best Male Vocal Performance of the Year award at the 2012 Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. Kesse released his debut studio album, The Prodigy, in 2012, which has songs like The More I Cried, Superstar, and Treat Her Royal featuring Sakyi. Some of his gospel songs, though, are Mehu Yesu, Sweet Jesus, Inyao, and Oluwa. Now on to some international news. Stevie Wonder says he's feeling 30 years younger after undergoing a kidney transplant last year. He quotes, I was blessed with a new kidney and that happened on December 6, 2019. I feel great. My voice feels great, end quote. He said during a virtual press conference on Tuesday. Open quote, I told my daughter Aisha, I'm going to be like 5 years younger than you now. I'm going to be from 70 to being 40. I feel like I'm about 40 right now. I'm feeling great, end quote, he said in an interview. Now, Stevie Wonder announced that he will be having the surgery during the London concert in 2019. He addressed recent online scuttlebutt about his health and said that if he has further health woes, fans and media will hear it from the horse's mouth. Open quote, for all of the people who have been listening to these rumors, if I am feeling some kind of way, I will let you know. We don't want to have misinformation. I am alive and well and looking forward to having a car that drives so I can drive myself, end quote, the singer equipped. And that's all for entertainment highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Emmanuel Sapon. Please do enjoy the rest of the
All right, so now on the creative lifestyle segment, we're going to be talking about how to put the shine back in your shoes. All right, I've been joined by Desmond Kunedu and Richard Kobler. Now, these gentlemen are from an organization called Shoe Lab. It's going to be interesting. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
How are you?
We good, and yourself?
I'm pretty good. Now, I understand you guys can pimp up any shoe.
Exactly, that's true.
That's the deal.
Yeah.
Okay. So prove it.
Sure.
Before you go into proving anything, I brought my sneakers here. So we're gonna make it shine.
Okay.
All right. But give me a little bit of a background about Shoe Lab.
Okay.
Shoe Lab is basically a company we started not long ago, about 3 to 4 months ago, and what we do basically is take joy in making sure people's shoes are clean, people's shoes are restored back to how they bought it in the first place, and people's shoes are well polished.
How they bought it? Okay.
Back in the first place, yeah. And people's shoes are well polished.
Okay.
But you know, there's a saying that goes that if you want to know a man, just take a look at his shoes. The shoes he's wearing.
Yeah.
And most of the times, people, it's not because they are lazy, it's because they don't have time to clean their shoes. So Shoe Lab was just started to make sure those people who don't have time for their shoes, now we are here to take care of your shoes for you.
Okay.
Basically.
I hope you can share with us some little tips as well for our viewers to be able to practice at home and do little things that they can also do.
Sure, we will share that with us.
Okay. All right. So let's get into it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. You wanna? There you go. Okay.
So,
all right. So yes.
What we do basically is, some people think cleaning the shoe doesn't really make sense, because at the end of the day,
it's going to go back on the ground.
Exactly.
Okay.
But then, if you love your shoes like I do, trust me, you can clean the upper
top
sole
and then leave
it down and just go put it back on your shoe.
Okay.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to start cleaning the sole.
Okay.
Then to the midsole, and then to the upper sole.
Okay.
Okay, so just take a look at.
Is there a reason why we work that way and not the reverse?
Okay, for example, if I'm supposed to start cleaning from here, like from here to this side, the foam will like drop down where I've already worked on. So I so basically have to start from here.
Start from the bottom of the sole, work to the mid, and then come to the top. Okay, all right. See how it's going to work. How long has Shoe Lab been in existence?
Shoe Lab, we started operating official, I think,
go ahead.
3 months ago.
Okay.
3 months back, and it's been amazing, the reception we've got. So we're still operating, we're still going higher, we're still going bigger, and that's basically it. So 3 months ago.
I'm wondering to myself, why shoes though? I mean, of all the things in the world, why shoes?
It's somewhere funny, because even people come and they were like, upon all the jobs you could have done, you chose to wash people's shoes. Like you chose to polish. You see, there's this down tag on it now. You chose to wash shoes for a living. But Shoe Lab, it's a whole idea which came out from my CEO, because he loves shoes.
Okay.
And you can buy a shoe. Shoes are expensive. There's a whole market out there for shoes. You can buy a shoe for thousands of dollars and all those things. And you wear it one time, especially in this.
Remember the one we got in Madrid?
Yep.
That shoe was very expensive. And
you bring it out, you wear it once,
and then it becomes.
You can't wear it again, because the whole sole. Just take a look at the shoe. Like it's a very good shoe back, because the sole is all this now. The person might decide not to wear it.
Okay. So what are you mixing here? Because we see you mixing some interesting chemicals, and wondering if we can get it at home to also take care of things. What are you mixing here?
Okay, basically, because we want the viewers to be able to practice it at home. We decided not to like bring any chemical like on board that they'll find it difficult having
to find. Yeah.
So this is a mere like powdered soap.
Okay.
The one we use at home.
Okay. Regular powdered soap.
Yes.
Okay.
But we are only using this for the soap.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So we have like specific chemicals suitable for the upper soap.
Right.
We will use that when I get.
When
to
you
this.
get there. No,
Sure.
fantastic. Let's keep going.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But thank you for complimenting my shoes. My shoes are nice, I know.
Yep. Adidas trainers. These are Adidas runners, like you buy. It's even a collaboration between Adidas and Continental.
Yeah. Continentals, they make car ties.
They make car ties.
Oh, that's what it is. I missed that. Okay.
This is this particular shoe, like the particular sole of this, is made by Continental, which they produce car ties.
Yes.
So just imagine the rubber and the tape that they're going to do in making a car tie being under your sneaker.
Okay.
You should know how good of a sneaker it is.
Okay. Getting brighter and brighter.
I love that.
All right. So where are you based?
Shoe Lab is currently based at Kwabena. I think we are just a minute's drive away from the Regimano Balloon Gate.
Okay.
Kwabena. So we are based at Kwabena. We are so easy to find. You just punch in. We're in a digital world now, so you just punch in Shoe Lab GH on the Google map or any other map you're using, and it will bring you just straight to our doorstep.
Okay. Can I Uber my shoes to you?
Yeah,
and then you sort it out and
we
bring it.
do everything. We do everything from deliveries to pickups to everything. So if you want us to come, some people like to see us pick up their shoes directly. If you want us to come,
you come yourself
and pick up the shoes. If you want us to send a dispatch rider or everything, we can send them.
Interesting.
To you as well.
I like that. Okay, so honestly, I think the days of cleaning my own shoes are over.
They should be. They should be. They should be.
Some people might call it laziness, but hey, we are supporting business.
That is
why
we are
supporting business. Yeah. You can't do everything yourself, you know. So
like everything basically is
somebody's
fine now.
an expert in an area, they'll take care of it nicely for you and all that. Yeah, I like that. I like that. So are you on social media as well? Where can people find you?
We are on social media. We're very loud on Snapchat for one.
Okay.
And when you go on Snapchat, our handles is ShoeLab20 on Snapchat. On Instagram, we are ShoeLabGH.
Okay.
On Facebook, we are ShoeLabGH. And it's the same for Twitter as well, ShoeLabGH.
Fantastic. Okay. What's the most difficult situation you found when somebody has sent you a shoe and you're looking at it and you're like, you know what, this one is not recoverable?
Some of the shoes tend to peel off. And even wearing them without even cleaning them will be peeling off.
Okay.
So some of them, because of the chemicals we use, when you come in, like we make sure to know that this your sneaker it peels off.
Okay.
Even on its own, even if you attempt to even use something as mild as sponge to wash it on your own, it will start peeling off. So we have to educate the customer bringing it in that with this shoe, if you touch it, it's going to peel off. Or so some of basically those shoes are the toughest we face. The shoes are. I don't want to say that I don't know how they did the leather, but it tends to be peeling off.
Okay.
So those are
due to the weather condition.
Those are the hardest shoes and the most difficult ones we face. But we tend to still do a good job.
A lot of the photos I've seen of your work are regarding sneakers. Do you do any other shoes as well?
All sort of footwear.
You do
all sorts. We polish even with the ladies. You see some of the ladies, they have high heels.
Yes.
They are not too comfortable with the inches of it. We can shorten it. We can. We did a job yesterday that the lady brought in her shoes and she said they were big. So we had our cobbler just resize the whole thing, the whole shoe. He resized the whole shoe for the lady, and it was actually a fantastic job.
Wow.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay, so in regards to the question you just asked, recently there was this lady who brought her shoes for it to be cleaned, and then it had this side, like peeling off.
The top surface,
So we actually sent her a picture and told her that, Madam, please, this is a situation. If you are supposed to touch the shoes, this is going to be the end result. Like it's going to peel more. She didn't really
understand it.
Okay, she said, okay, we should just go ahead and do it because she didn't know how the damage was going to be. So we decided to do it.
Yeah.
And then immediately we started working on it. Everything started coming off.
Wow.
And we told the lady that, yo, this is the outcome now. She was so mad. So because we had to save our name and our brand, we had to get her a new show.
Oh my goodness! But you told her in advance.
We told her in advance, but you know,
like she just
said something like the customer is always right. So
yeah, well.
Even though we told her in advance, we just decided to do that for her.
I think we should do some kind of a disclaimer thing where if we tell you,
we do it.
Sign up. Sign up on it before we start. You know, then you can't hold us.
It's like she agreed, but she didn't know how
bad it was going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
I see. It's looking nice. I'm liking the direction which you're going.
And since some of the cleaning we have supporting machines and chemicals, we couldn't bring all of them because we're on set. So these are the basics.
Okay.
So actually, I'm done with the soap.
Okay. Super.
The soap and the mid soap.
Yeah.
So I'm starting with the upper soap. Okay. So.
Okay. All right, so you can see the gentlemen from Shoe Lab, Desmond and Richard here. My one shoe is looking really nice right now. The other one, they haven't touched it yet. But Dziffa is standing by for us to continue the show. We'll come back and take a look at the finished work.
Yes, and we have the beautiful Senti with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Tell us a bit about yourself. I'm okay too.
Senti is a very young, industrious woman. My name is Abena Sewa Innocenti Frimpon.
Ah, so you took just your Senti and then made it your musical name.
Yes.
How has the journey been for you?
It's been a roller coaster, ups and downs, but...
Want to share some of the ups, the downs?
Oh, there are times when, you know, you're going for it, you're pushing it. There are times when you feel like it's not going well, but you keep going.
How long have you been pursuing this?
Professionally, 3 years now.
3 years. Wow, I think you're doing well. What can we expect from you in the upcoming months, years?
Big things. Yes, I'm set to release a single very soon.
Nice.
The video has been shot and everything is...
Where did you guys shoot the video?
In the studio.
Inside. It was COVID times, so it's fine.
Yes.
What is the single about, if you can tell us a little bit? Don't give it all away.
Okay, I won't. The title is For You.
Okay.
Yes, so I can sing just a small
go
verse.
for it.
Okay, so it just goes like, I just wrote this song for you. For you.
Aww.
See me, I no go let go, let go, let go, let go. See me, I no go let go, let go. Yes, I don't want to
Don't give it all away. I hope you come back and perform it for us when it's out to go, it's ready to go to the public.
Yes.
Where do we follow you on social media?
On Instagram and Twitter at SaintiGH. So S3NTIGH.
Thank you so much, Senti, for being
You're
with
welcome.
us. Thank you at home for staying. We'll go for a quick break and then we'll check on the progress with those sneakers. We'll be right back.
On the 7th of December, you will be going to the polls to elect a member of parliament. How well do you know your constituency?
We take a visit to the Awutu Senya East constituency of the Central Region. We are coming to you from the Inshayaso constituency in the Ashanti region. I'm still in the Aswanse constituency.
Political parties will be campaigning for your vote.
We have done almost about 80 to 90 different projects across the country.
There is no single school under any electoral area that has not seen the development of Honorable Muntaka.
But as a constituent, what will inform your choice of a candidate to represent you in Parliament?
My party is my community. What program are you bringing in to solve the problem of my community?
Be involved in what concerns you. My name is Fremedu Nyame. Join me on The Constituency for all you need to know concerning your socio-economic development. The Constituency airs on City TV Mondays to Thursdays.
Yes, so welcome back, and I'm excited because my shoe is looking really, really fly right now. The gentlemen, Desmond Konedu and Richard Kobler, have done a fantastic job. You can see it, take a look at it. We deliberately did this, before and after, so you can see the difference between them. Even look at the top of the shoe itself here versus this one. That's amazing. You guys are fantastic.
Thank you.
I hope you will finish up the other one for me before you leave. Okay, so social media handles people can find you. Where can people find you?
On Snapchat, we are ShoeLab20. On Instagram, we are ShoeLabGH. On IG, that's on Facebook, we are ShoeLabGH as well, and on Twitter we are ShoeLabGH as well.
All right, fantastic. Thank you to you, Richard Kobler, and to you, Dennis Konedu. Desmond Konedu. Fantastic.
You don't need our phone number.
So yes. If you have a phone number, put it out.
Okay, the phone number is 0246 536151.
Super. All right. So as you can see there, please reach out to them. This is fantastic. I'm looking forward to this. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a wonderful morning. So many things that we've had conversations about. Go over to CityTube and check out all the different segments of the show we had today. My name is David Kwaku Sakyi.
And I am Dziffa Ametam. Don't forget that at 1 p.m. on 97.3 City FM, we have Voters Diary for you. And 3 p.m. on City TV as well, we have Voters Diary. Stay updated, stay informed. We have to make the right decision this December. Now, tomorrow is Friday, so let's end the week hard. We'll see you same time. Enjoy your day. Bye.
This is VOA Africa.
Hello, I'm Esther Gito Yuwat. It's Wednesday, October 14th. This is Africa 54. Due to the global outbreak of COVID-19, Voice of America is taking every necessary precaution to safeguard its employees, so our broadcast will